Let's give it up for Camp Restore. Today's my first day ever being into this location, and I'm just blown away by the work that this organization does, not only right now while they're hosting you, but all the work that they do throughout the year since Hurricane Katrina to help people rebuild their lives here in the city of New Orleans. It's really, really amazing work. So again, God bless you guys for all the work that you're doing. My name is Tyronne. I serve as special assistant to our mayor, Mitch, Landrieu. And I also serve as the mayor's director of faith-based initiatives. So when the mayor is invited to a whole lot of things throughout the city, and if his schedule doesn't permit him to come, especially when it's dealing with faith-based groups or youth groups, or just about anything else in between, he says, yeah, send Tyronne on there. So sometimes I'll be sitting in my office late in the evening, and the day will be winding down for us around 6 o'clock, and we have been there for 11 and a half, 12 hours already. And then I realize, look at my Outlook camera, and I realize I go speak at some event on behalf of the mayor. And then I'm, obviously have a whole lot of grudge in my heart for having to leave and then not go home, but to come to groups and speak on behalf of our mayor. However, every single time I step out and I come to meet groups like yours, I'm always energized. I'm always blown away and grateful for the opportunity to come meet and to see people like yourselves who are doing really, really amazing work. So on behalf of all the people in New Orleans and our great mayor, I just want you to give yourselves a round of applause for a really, really amazing job and work that you're doing on the ground right here in the city of New Orleans. So, this is a real easy thing to talk to 250 youth who are children of God, obviously for myself, because I think we're like-minded. We're like-minded for two reasons. And I'll start where I start often when I'm talking about New Orleans and her rebuilding. And I speak to groups like y'all because I think it's an important message. New Orleans, after Hurricane Katrina, was knocked absolutely to her knees. Right? We were completely decimated. A lot of people were hopeless. Right? There was despair all over the place. I'm sure you've heard the stories since you've been here. You've interacted with people's homes and schools that you've been helping to renovate. And everybody's got a story, right? But one of the common threads throughout those stories is hopelessness, it's despair, it's fear, right? In a sense of longing after the people were displaced after Katrina. But one thing that is often not, doesn't come through, that I want to impart to you today, is that throughout all those stories, and after Katrina, New Orleans really has shown America another story. And that is what it means to really embody resurrection and redemption. Being children of God, you understand what resurrection and redemption really means. In a practical way, though, and we hear it in the church, but and in ministry, but on the streets of New Orleans, you really get a first-hand glimpse to see what resurrection and redemption really looks like. What it means to stand back up, what it means to have confidence and faith, and to be restored, right, in the face of adversity. And one of the reasons why New Orleans has been able to say that after Katrina, she's been a resilient city. She's fought back. She's punched high above her weight, right? And she's roaring back incredibly. And she's able to say that we can show America that we're a city of resurrection and redemption, and how America can do it again. One of the reasons why we're able to do that, one of the main reasons I contend, is because of volunteers just like yourselves. All throughout our city, right now, there's groups like yourselves from churches, from schools, from colleges, from just regular organizations, not only in America, but all throughout the country, who really answer the call, right? Saw people in need, really stepped up, right? And said, I want to go there and I want to make a difference. I want to help make people's lives better, right? And so New Orleans, so if you don't get anything else on tonight, I want you to leave here knowing that New Orleans is able to stand again. New Orleans is able to show America what resurrection and redemption means because of people like you. and because of your sacrifice, and because of your hard work, right? And so a lot of times people take to young people, they look at all the negative things that young people do or go through, right? And they harp on those things. But I want you to be very, very proud of the work that you've done during this week that you've been in New Orleans. It's a very, very bold, very, very huge, huge impact that you're making in the lives of real, real people. And you should be very, very grateful to God for giving you this opportunity, but also implanting in you a certain spirit, a spirit of giving back and a spirit of service. And I think that's going to go a long way. The second thing, the last thing I just kind of want to share with you quickly, is not only is New Orleans a city of resurrection and redemption, but New Orleans is extremely grateful for your sacrifice, right? So often throughout our city, we're struggling with a whole bunch of things, right? We're struggling with a high murder rate, particularly on our streets amongst young males, right? We're struggling with how we build a school system that really gives our kids a great education. We're struggling with how we create jobs that really, really helps prepare our people for the future. But I want you really to know that in New Orleans that we're winning. We're punching much higher than our weight, right? We're showing America that not only what resurrection and redemption means, but we're actually showing America what it means to be a laboratory for innovation and change, right? And what does that mean? So when you're brought down to your knees, right? One thing you can do one or two things. You can stay there, or you can find a way to get up and to do things differently. And one thing I hope you've seen through this group's work and the work of some of the people that you touched on your service is that we're trying to do things new. We're looking at old problems and we're trying new solutions to them, and hopefully because of that, we're going to be much better and our city's going to be stronger. And I guess the last thing I do want to tell you, I said that was the last thing, so we lie sometimes. Don't make anybody the last thing I want to tell you, though, is the reason why I'm so moved by your work is because I go to churches all the time. I'm the director of faith-based initiatives. And one message I really, really have for our churches here in the city of New Orleans and our faith-based groups is, yeah, you're doing good work, right? It's kind of cool. And a lot of times us in the faith, we can pat ourselves on the back because on Sunday we feel real, real good, right? And we do a little bit of good things. But one of the things I always stress to our churches and our faith-based organizations here in the city of New Orleans is remind them of the scripture that says, faith without works is dead, right? I'm grateful for your work in the city of New Orleans. Our mayor is grateful for your work in the city of New Orleans because you're showing our people, if we didn't believe it already, we're showing our people, particularly our faith community, right, of what that scripture really means. It's fine to do really, really good things inside of the four walls of your church, right? It's great to have robust ministries where you're really praising God and really investing in the lives of the people that come into your church. That's all good. That's great, right? But Jesus was calling on us to do some things that would take place outside of our churches, right? It's calling us to step outside of our four walls and actually go help those people who weren't coming into our churches. And so I want you to know that because you are demonstrating the scripture of faith without works is dead, you're really, really making a lot of impact in people's lives. And I think through your work, you're bringing people closer to God, and that's something that should be incredibly commended. So again, on behalf of our mayor and all the people in New Orleans, really, really, really grateful for your sacrifice. We're grateful for your service. And we're going to pray that your great travels going back. We're going to pray that your ministry at your church continues to grow and that you're able to continue to make an impact in the lives of other people around our country. God bless you and thank you.